Hi, religion is an important part of human life and human experience. Of course, religion is not something unchangeable, is not something beyond human experience. The changing condition of times inevitably influence religion and religious experiences. One of the challenging time for religious experience and for religions probably is modern time. So modernity and postmodernity pose great challenges for all religions and for all religious people. Modern time, the concept of modern, is not just a term which describes a time period, but at the same time, it represents a mentality, a cultural, intellectual, social, cultural changes in our days. Of course, modernity is not a temporary development. There is a very long history beyond it. We could say that modernity, the root of modernity, goes back to 15th and 16th century. Uh, Especially, there are three main development uh, which are the sources of modernity. These sources are Renaissance, Protestant Reformation, and Enlightenment. In modern time, our perception of the world, of humanity, changed radically. Such change never happened before. In modern time, uh, modern men and women thought that, think that they could reach the truth in universal level, and in modern time human being discovered that human individual has a special values and place in universe. Human individual is not a part or extension of anything or anyone. Human individual, it is he or she is an autonomous individual which must be valued separately. So, in modern time, science, uh, uh, humanity uh, discovered the value of science, and the value of science, the importance of science, has been formulated by positivist philosophy. Alongside the value of science, the value of human being also discovered and formulated. The idea which emphasized the importance of human individual has been called as humanism. At the same time, in modern time, technology developed in unimaginable level, our culture, our way of life become uh, become a sort of production of culture. Technologization of culture and lifestyle is another important development. And postmodernity, probably it is another stage of modern experience, but postmodernity criticizes many ideas, uh, which many ideas and development of modernity. What is how religion can respond to the modern and postmodern developments and ideas? This is a very important question. Modernity in classical modern stance claims that uh, truth is universal, and through inquiry, through research, through experimentation, this universal truth can be explored. So, this modernist claim is a challenge to religious claims. Most religion, almost all of them, they claim that they have universal truth, and this universal truth can be explored or can be found actually within their traditions. So modern and postmodern position don't consider religious truth as something universal and don't consider religious tradition as the source of as the source of uh, as the source which could lead us to universal uh, truth. And of course, but the differences between modernity and postmodernity. Modernity claims that there could be, because they believe the universality of the truth, and they think that there could be meta narration could be constructed about this universal truth. But postmodernity doesn't like the idea of meta narration about truth. It said there is no meta narration. And religions, they are a sort of meta narrations. They ex, uh, they they present themselves as the whole truth on as a meta narration, which is the truth itself. So modernity in one side say to religion, yes, you could be a meta narration, but you are not the universal truth. Postmodernity say to religion, yes, they say you are not the truth, as well as your meta narration is no longer valid. So, as we see, there are big challenges which comes from modernity and postmodernity to religion. Postmodernity, first of all, say there is no universal truth, because all truth, all truth claims have been constructed by particular time and particular context. So social and cultural factors determines our perception of the truth. As a matter of fact, postmodernity said that there is no universality, probably there is no truth at all. So that means that all religions, they are not entity outside of time and places. As a matter of fact, all religions are the production of context and conditions and time, and at the same time, particular people, every time, they change and renew their particular religious experiences. So that means that religions, like any other human activity, is constantly changing, it is constantly changing. So there is no certain fixed truth actually. So from that perspective, we see that these are great challenges to truth narrations of religions. And at the same time, modernity and postmodernity challenge religious ideas and religious establishment in another way. They say that religious knowledge, religious experience are the production of particular context and situation. That means that religion is a useful tool in many cases for controlling society. So there is a hidden structure of power behind religion. So what sort of power relations exist within religious knowledge, within religious experience, within religious establishment? This is another important issue which must be addressed in religious context. On the other hand, the position of human individual. Modernity particularly values human individual too much. Postmodernity also values human individual too much. Human individual is at the center. But in religion, it is not human individual. Religious institutions, religious dogmas, or all elements of religion, they put something or someone at the center which is beyond human individual. Basically, they say our center is sacred. What is sacred? It is God. I mean, most religions, they say that they are God-centered approach. Uh, Religion say that if you believe God, if you understand what God commands or prohibit, you could understand yourself better. But modernity and postmodernity say that no, try to understand yourself. And postmodernity, one step further, it said that look, the understanding of human individual requires the understanding of particular historical and social context in which individual lives in. So this is another differences between religious understanding of God man and the relation. This is another important differences about the centrality of God or the centrality of human being. Uh, Another important issue, if from religious perspective, if God at the center, the task of man is to follow God's command and God's orders. So God is active, but human being is the passive. But from modernist and postmodernist perspective, situation is different. It said that uh, God, it is not God, it is individual at the center. And individual is actor. It is not just watcher. It's not spectator. Human individual must search, must seek, must understand, must gain knowledge, must make experiment about nature, about society, or whatever. So, human individual has free will, rational ability, and freedom, rational ability makes human individual as an actor in this world. So, uh, at the same time, another important issue, modernity and postmodernity value science. But religion said that religion itself is the value. It is not science. Science cannot have priority over the religion. So, whether science comes first or religion comes first, They are big issue, actually, big questions. But it is, of course, all these questions can be answered differently from different perspectives. But the point is here, modern time, postmodern ideas raise very important questions, debates, uh, which influence religious experience as well. So, modern religious experience is not a traditional one. Modern religious experience is under the influence of modernity and postmodernity. We can't separate religious experience entirely uh, modernism and postmodernity and postmodernity. Thank you.